Hello witchy people. This is not something you'll see very often. This is my bedtime face. My hair's not done. I have no makeup on and my glasses are on. So you may be asking yourself, why is she making a video when she looks this bad? And I'm going to tell you why. The online witch or pagan community rolls around very well, and then every few years there seems to be drama, not in a bad way necessarily, but something will happen, and instead of agreeing to disagree or listening to each other and respecting each other, one or two people will get nasty. It's the only way I can describe it. Some people get nasty. They use it as an excuse to start berating other people. Now, the whole idea, I thought, about being a witch was that for all our diversity, our diversidness, for all the diversity and the differences within our community worldwide, we are argumentative sometimes about our differences. We tend to be, on YouTube especially, I think, quite a small voice. And there are very few witchcraft or pagan channels that become huge. And our small voices have to stick together. We shouldn't be arguing, really, not for the sake of arguing. I'm not saying that's what's going on. People do have valid opinions, they have valid thoughts, of course they do, and they should be allowed to say what they want to say. But it needs to be done with respect, and it needs to be done with some idea of what the consequences are going to be. Now, I felt almost compelled to make this video because I think there is something going on in the witchcraft community right now. There seems to be some kind of upheaval. There seems to be, I don't know, a disconnect for many people. And this includes myself, I will have to admit. For me, I think it has just been, it's a personal thing. It's not anything to do with what's going on YouTube or online. As I've explained before, I'm not the world's most healthiest person, far from it, and that does affect me in a lot of ways. And it just happens to be affecting me. I'm having a bit of a crash, and I thought that's all it was, but I think there is definitely a feeling, a vibe that's going around. Now, it may be because we are, like 2020 has not been the best of years for the human race, really, has it? It hasn't been a good year for us, and I think we are all getting a bit fed up, and we are all trying to vent our frustrations in some ways. We're trying to bring about some kind of meaning. We have to try and make some meaning of and some sense of what's going on. and we all want our voices to be heard. Of course we do, she says with her voice going. We all want to be heard. But trying to shout above everyone else is also not going to work, because the louder you shout, the louder you're going to be shouted over. Now, this isn't in response to anyone directly. This is not in response to any one particular video. This is just a feeling that's been going round. Though I will admit that there are some people that I care very much about who have been affected by what's going on. It's not unusual. Don't start singing that song. It's not unusual for this to happen, especially online. And the thing is, when it comes down to it, it's very difficult being a YouTuber to try and get your viewpoint across without offending too many people. I mean, regardless, you are going to offend somebody somewhere along the line, no matter what you say. As I have found out very recently, you will offend someone because people don't take you in the way that you intend them to sometimes, and that's not on you, that's on them, to be honest. And it can't be helped. You know, it's not something that we can avoid. It's not something that's ever going to change. I think what I'm really trying to say, and I've said it so many times before, we should be celebrating our differences, not being made to feel ostracised and out of the loop almost because of our differences, or because, you know, and I know people aren't doing it purposefully. This isn't something that's being done, you know, with intent that people are meaning to, but I think we have to sometimes stop and think about how what we say will affect the people that we do care about, or the people that do matter to us. So, like I said, every few years there will be something that gets talked about a lot, and it tends to be one or two things that snowballs into something, you know, that encompasses a whole load of other things, and it all gets clubbed together and talked about, and people do get I wouldn't say angry, because it's not that people get angry, they kind of get sidetracked almost. It's almost like you get sidetracked and you kind of lose yourself a little bit in the argument that goes around you all the time. So I know there have been some people that they're not allowing comments on videos because it's like, this is going to be the end of this conversation. And I think that subjects that people want to talk about, fair enough, that's a good idea, but I think we have to talk through not what made us feel ostracised or different or upset or bullied in the first place, but why we feel that way and what we can do for each other to help not to let this happen again. It's going to happen again, but it just always does. Although this channel isn't that old, I have been a YouTuber for quite a while, and within any community, to be honest, that there is going to be drama, and there's going to be some times where, like, it seems like the fecal matter has really hit the fan, shall we say. I know recently in the gaming community and the reaction video community, there has been an awful lot going on. And I know this because it happens to appear in my suggested video list. Now, I don't think I'm that different to anyone else, surely. I wouldn't say, okay, I'm older than a lot of other people, but I'm not wiser than anyone else. I'm not any deeper in thought or spirituality or religion than anyone else. I think we all would like to see every side. We all would like to be thought of and try to act in a fair and reasonable manner. It's okay to speak your mind. It's okay to say what your thoughts are. It's not okay to do it in a way where you are going to be causing discomfort to somebody and you're doing that on purpose. That's wrong. Not that that's necessarily what's been going. This is really hard to kind of explain, because I don't want to put myself in the middle of anything. On the other hand, I don't want to stand by and say, as I have done in the past, stand back and think, you know, that this drama's going on, it's got nothing to do with me, because it has got something to do with me, because this is my community. This is, you know, even if I feel very much sometimes on the outskirts of that community, that's still my community. This is still people that on some level have a depth of understanding of who I am and what I practice and what it means to be a witch. For me, you know, we all try to, at least I hope we try to understand each other and, you know, have, like I said, have that depth of understanding of what it means. And that sometimes, yes, like I say, we are never all going to agree, ever. And it is very hard to try and pick that path where you are trying to stay true to yourself, but also not stepping on anyone else's toes in the meantime. Because you do have to stay true to yourself. You do have to I'm trying to think of another way to say it. Being true to yourself, you have to stick to your guns. You have to, you know, be authentic to you and for yourself. But in doing so, don't ostracise anyone. Just because you feel like you've got it made and you've got it all sorted and, you know, you've got the new, doesn't mean to say that the rest of us have. Because most of us haven't. And, you know, like I said, there is always going to be drama, and every few years it will blow up considerably because all the little bits of drama all come together in one big massive drama ball. And it likes to explode in the middle of the community. But, you know, like I said, I've said it before and I'll say it 1,000 times, we should celebrate our differences, revel in our differences, because if we don't, we're never going to learn from each other. And if we don't learn from each other, we are never going to grow, because you're never going to gain that knowledge. Now, I know for some people that is not an okay thing to do. And I'm not talking about cultural appropriation, misappropriation, whatever. I'm not very good at understanding all of that because I'm old. I didn't want this drama that's beginning to unfold within our community to start snowballing out and for it to gather pace without me turning around and saying it can stop now. And I'm not saying that anyone or everyone at all is going to listen to me, but I would like it to be known that I have said it can stop now. We really don't need division within our community right now. Yes, it's fun to have an argument. Well, actually, no, it's not. It's fun to have a discussion, and it's okay to disagree. It was something that me and my son were actually talking about a few weeks ago. I'm very, very proud of my children. I have 4 children, 4 beautiful, beautiful children, and I'm very proud of all of them because they don't have the same views as me. You know, I mean, apart from the fact they're a whole new generation, and you know, I raised them, but they don't agree with me. But I like that they have their own thoughts, their own opinions and their own viewpoints, and they have their own facts and figures and thoughts to back up their opinions, and they're not the same as mine. You know, that they are independent, amazing thinkers and doers and people, and that's fine, because they don't have to agree with me. I don't have to agree with them and what they think and what they say for me not to respect them. I respect them, and I want them to know that just because our thoughts and our opinions aren't the same doesn't mean to say that we're not still family. And that's what it boils down to. Just because we're not all on the same page right now doesn't mean to say we're not family, because we are. That's it. So I've rambled on. I am going to have to get to bed because I've got to be up in 2 hours for the workman. I have a roof now. This is just drama that's going on in my life. Obviously, I did not have a roof on my home. I now have a roof. So this is good. And I'm trying to kind of, I don't want to be flippant. I'm trying to lighten the mood slightly and kind of tail off the subject, because I think enough is enough. And, you know, don't... For anyone who's listening, and like I say, this isn't necessarily aimed at anyone, but for anyone who ever listens to this, please don't ever feel as though you're not understood just because someone doesn't agree with you, or someone's not thinking about how you may be reacting or feeling about something. Something to say they're not thinking about you in... Or it does not mean to say that they're disregarding you or don't think of you as part of their family. I'm going now. Thank you for watching, and thank you for listening, witchy people. Next time I come back, I will have the whole face, hair thing back again. Bye for now, witchy people.